Bosh, we're back. Welcome to another episode of the 100% podcast with Harry Purdy. And today I'm bringing the episode back with myself. 188 episodes. I've been so excited to get this show literally back on the road, or not on the road, not literally on the road, but getting things back in motion when it comes to the 100% podcast. The 4-month rest has been it's been definitely exactly what I've needed to make sure that I can bring you my best self, my best energy. And as we'll go into in the podcast, there's been some challenges, there's been some changes, there's been some exciting stuff all in this time. There's been some illnesses as well. There's been a little bit of challenge personally for me as well. So, all of these things will be touched on today. But the main thing is to get back, tell you what to expect as a follower of Harry Purdy and 100% podcast and 100% coaching and all things 100% over the next months. I have also a little bit, I want to touch on running today. I've kind of not got the running bug back because it's always been there, but after Bristol half and 23 degree half marathon on Sunday, I just wanted to touch on a few things that I've learned over the last years of taking on more races and chucking myself in the deep end with some really hard challenges as well. And we can then talk about what's upcoming in the future with regards to what's next on the agenda for me, how I want to help people more, and all of those beautiful things. So without further ado, we're here with me as the guest today. So talking about me over the last 4 months since I last came on the show. Things have been tough, actually. I was really, 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 really rough. I don't think I said really enough there. But I was really rough in the February time. I think I had COVID. No, I think I had COVID. I was really rough. It took me about 4 weeks to recover from an illness. And then on a personal note as well, there's been some things just stewing along in the background and some changes that I've probably needed to make myself personally, which is, I guess, come at a good time where I've not been recording new podcasts with new guests because it's allowed me to get things and the ball back rolling in a direction that I want it to be rolling in, rather than letting the ball go downhill without any kind of obstacle in the way that's going to stop it. And when the ball starts rolling downhill, when you're talking about mental health, when you're talking about mood, when you're talking about life, it's really important to take responsibility and get a grip on it, which is one of the 100% mantras that I like to talk about as well. And I've been doing a lot of work with my 100% message as well, and really diving into the depths of what it really means to me, because I think I've come to the conclusion. I'm actually working with tsguy. I know I've had him on the podcast a few times, and we had a real deep conversation about 100% the other day, and he wanted to kind of make the point as to sometimes the message of 100% can feel a bit hustle culture and a bit like you have to do it even if you hate it kind of vibe, and that really isn't. And I'm sure a lot of you that have listened to a lot of my content will know that that's not really the idea of 100%. But actually, if I'm leaving that up to interpretation from listeners, from watchers, then of course when I'm advertising my message of what 100% is, people are going to have different ideas. So I've really dived into what that is, and that's going to be another podcast in itself. And what I have done is I've broken down what 100% is to me, what 100% isn't to me, and what it is in action. And then with that, I think it's really important as well to identify your own whatever you call your best self. For me, it's 100%. For my clients, it's 100%. For you as the listeners, you may kind of use the 100% message as something that you kind of use as a comparison frame with regards to how you're feeling and all of those really cool things. But really dive into what 100% means to you, because there'll be 100 people in this room. We'll stick to the theme of 100%, of course, and 100 people. There'll be 100 people in this room, and everybody's version will be totally different. So I think that's so important actually to nail down today and remember as we move forward. It's really exciting to be back. I know I've touched on that in the past, but actually just shooting the shit and getting the message across as to I'm excited to be back. I'm really excited to bring you some guests that I've never had on before, but I've got a few I've got a few big ones in the pipeline. I actually will let you into a secret. Not everything is perfect. And again, fitting in with not everything is always 100%. I got Aaron Carpenter back in a couple of weeks ago to record his part 2 episode to speak about all things being an assisted bodybuilder now. And the episode was incredible. We had such a great time, but the episode actually failed. The video file corrupted on his camera. So we do have a podcast. It is an audio. So if you do want it, just give us a shout and we can send it over to you. But I'm in the one of the biggest reasons that I wanted to have a break was because I wanted to really nail down the quality of the content I was releasing. And when you record a podcast and you only have one side of the camera footage available, that doesn't quite fit into why I had that break. I didn't want to release something that was half baked. I wanted to give you the full fucking cake so you could eat it. And Aaron's going to come back in and we're going to do it again. We've given ourselves like a month to be able to do it again. I'm going to bring a couple of long-term clients back onto the show. I want you to hear from them about what the 100% message means to them, what it is, how they've done it for such a long time, how they've managed to keep progressing, and all of those amazing things as well, which I think is really important to niche down on. And fundamentally, actually, two more things with the podcast. You're going to hear more from me. I actually, like, when I watch people's content, when I see, not even like Chris Williamson, but when I look at like people as a brand, they advertise themselves more. And I'm confident I have a lot of valuable stuff to share, not in a big-headed way, but stuff, time where I've taken time to learn about myself and about other people and how people tick. And I want to share that message with you more. So you'll be seeing more podcasts. You'll be seeing more solo episodes from me where we can just bang them onto YouTube, and anybody who wants to come and watch what I've got to say about a specific thing can do that. But that's really it from the podcast. And then the second thing as well is I really want to nail down that actually the people that I have on the show are going to be face-to-face episodes. I know I've thought about a couple people locally that I want to get back on, but if you do know anybody that you're like, this person's message really fits in with your show, Harry, please let me know. Because if they're within like 50, 60 miles, they may travel maybe even 100 miles, right? If they want to get themselves out there and they want to share their message and it fits in alignment with health, fitness, becoming a better version of you, breaking your boundaries, beating limiting beliefs, bouncing back, all of these kind of things, then for sure let me know. And then I'm just gonna I love this little I'm gonna turn it around, look, bomb. I'm gonna show you it. The medal holder hanger has a new addition. We've got the Bristol Half Marathon up here, so that's gonna take us nicely into the next part of the show, which is talking about running and Bristol Half Marathon, which happened on Sunday. Which actually, when it comes to like where I've had a little bit of a lull over the last few months with like certain things, stress, and all of those little lovely challenges that life brings us, running is such a perfect thing to not think about anything. And they say that you can't not think of something, because when you're running, of course, you're thinking about like fueling, hydrating, all of these kind of things, which we'll touch on shortly. But I actually do believe that it's one of the places that when I'm running, not even for distance, not even for time, but when I'm running, I'm just out there, no headphones. I do get in that, like, I'm going to say it loosely, in flow. And it's so nice. And one of the things from Bristol Half Marathon, which I took away, Miriam and I were at the start line and she was taking some photos of me and stuff, and like I went to join the first wave, but I was just stood around and I had this feeling of like my training wasn't perfect for the half marathon, for Bristol Half Marathon, not by any stretch at all. I got about 5 training runs in between playing 2 games of football a week over the course of the end of March and into April, and then the cup final. So my prep for a half marathon and wanting to get a PB was minimal, to say the least, but still I got those nerves before the race, which was a good thing because it means that you're getting challenged. Some people would, like, you could label it as 2 things, excitement being one or nerves being the other. But I also got a really great sense of, yeah, this is where I want to be right now. And sometimes with running, it can be a thing that I don't know if anybody's ever experienced it. Please let me know if you have in the comments on this video. But where you're like, do I even like this at times? But actually, one thing that Bristol Half Marathon did for me is it really certified the fact that, yeah, actually, like, running is 100% part of the 100% brand. Like, if you like my content, you're probably going to like running or endurance events and all those kind of things. And that was really important to me, because I'd not done an event since October last year. I was supposed to do Bath Half, but actually Bath Half fell inside of when I was a bit unwell. I was really fucking unwell. That unwell that I pulled out of doing a race, which is really unlike me. But in fact, it just certified the fact that, yes, this is something that I want to continue to do and actually step up the next level in and niche down in and help more people with. So yeah, that's one of the takeaways I got from Bristol Half Marathon. But I just want to say as well, I'm really sorry for the loss of the fella that died, 28-year-old. That's horrendous. And I don't know, obviously there's no details released about what's caused the death and all of those kind of things, but really it's a real tragedy when somebody goes to do something that they probably love and enjoy, and are doing something to better themselves, and the conditions or some kind of condition got the better of this person and they're no longer with us. So I just wanted to show respect on the podcast and speak about the Bristol Half Marathon and a reality check that somebody did actually die at the event as well. So rest in peace to that guy. And I'm sure there'll be more information released about it in the future. But moving on to going back into the swing of the podcast, I did want to share 5 little facts or 5 things that I've kind of learned and may help a listener of this podcast when it comes to your running. Now, again, one of the things that was really, really important to share about the day of the Bristol Half Marathon was that when the event was, I guess, scheduled, they can't take control of, they can control every kind of aspect of the event completely apart from what the weather does on that day, right? It could have been thunder and fucking lightning, it could have been 100-mile-an-hour winds, it could have been snowing, it could have been, that's just how the UK weather is at the moment. But in fact, it turned out to be 23-degree heat, and the message before the race was perfect. They were advising people that it wasn't a day to go out for a PB. It wasn't a day to go out and push yourself, because obviously heat exhaustion is a serious thing, sunstroke's a serious thing. And even though I ran comfortably, I thought perceived comfort on the day for 10 miles, that heat got to me at the end, and I had to take like a complete 2 days of recovery after the event physically, because it was that hot. But I think when I look back at what I was saying about the event and it actually being certified to me, I was made more certain that running was definitely my thing and something that I want to keep in my agenda moving forward with my brand, is that I got that buzz before the race, and the buzz was more about me being able to enjoy the race, the event, than actually it was about me going out there and bettering a previous time or smashing myself for a new personal best or smashing myself for a split or all of those kind of things. It has to be about enjoyment first. And that's one of the things that is really hard when I share a lot of my running. I share a lot on Instagram. I share all my training runs. I share my results, and a lot of my results being technically a bit of a newbie still. I would call myself in that bracket of running. I'm still quite new. I've done a lot of runs, but I've not done loads of races. I think on this, the rack up there's maybe 2 medals of Martok 10Ks that I've done, not in that list. So if you look at that, 6, 9, 12, like 14 events over 5 years. It's not loads, is it? So I'm still new. But in times of events like this, we have to make sure that we enjoy it first, and that kind of fits in with one of my refined 100% messages, is that when you're training for something, whether it be weight loss, whether it be for better energy, whether it be for mental health, whether it be for a new PB in lifting or in running, feeling 100% and doing an event should never feel like a chore. There has to be some form of enjoyment there. And being even more real with you, there has been times where I've nearly beating myself up because I've maybe missed out on a time by a couple minutes or whatever. But actually, when I look at that race on Sunday, I ran my best. It wasn't my best, but I ran perfectly for 10 miles. I did everything I needed to do from previous lessons to keep me ticking over that distance and that pace. I fueled well. I stayed on top of my hydration, but I couldn't do anything about the heat. Like, it just affected me. It made me sweat more. It made the top of my head like really, really fucking hot, even though they had 2 showers on the course, and every water station, it would be a swig of water because I had water on me. I didn't need to drink what I got given. A swig of water, clean my face off and splash the rest down my back, but to just keep my body temperature, or try and keep my body temperature at a good time. But maybe a past version of me would have finished in 1:55, 4 minutes away, or like 5 minutes away from actually where I wanted to be. Of course I wanted a PB. I'd be a fool to say, I'd be a liar to say that I didn't want a PB. I just ran for like pure love of the game, right? But the game is in running that you want to beat yourself. No one else, you want to beat yourself. And I couldn't on the day because of the conditions. And the past version of me may have sat after the race and been really disappointed, but I wasn't. I was super proud with how I finished that race because it was fucking hard. And I think that's like, this is a separate one in general. Anybody that's considering long distance running, or anybody that's considering endurance events, even like to an extent a 10k race, these things aren't like things you can just pick up and go out and smash. There are some, of course, there's some natural athletes amongst us, and fuck me, they're annoying when they just go out and take to something really well. But most of us, we do have to work hard. And I don't want you to, I'm going to think about what I'm saying here. I'm not like trying to be patronizing, but really consider what it is that you're signing up to when you do sign up to an endurance event, because it's called endurance events for a reason, right? Because they are putting your body and your brain under endurance for a long period of time. So I just wanted to share that one with you. Number 2 is when it comes to your energy and hydration, they are like the fundamental thing to make sure that you can perform at your best. I've spoken many times on this podcast about how it's even more important for me because I am a big lad. I'm 6'1", I'm 98 kg. I sweat like fuck. So all of these things make this topic for me something that I'm quite knowledgeable about now. I know what I need grams of carbs per hour to keep my body fueled at a certain time. I know how much sodium I need to take on to make sure that I'm giving myself the best chance of not cramping. And I also know, on a side note, about conditioning to make sure that my muscles are in the best state they can be in before going out and taking on an event. But actually, again, I've seen a couple of things wrote about the half marathon at the weekend, but really, when you're training, you should be looking at what you actually need. And there's so many websites online that you can go and utilize, Precision Hydration being one of them, that you can go and speak to them about your race strategies and how you can get fueled up and stay hydrated, and even they'll talk to you about what if you want caffeine before a race and all of these kind of things. But having your energy and hydration routine nailed and practiced before you go out and take on a race is so important. And I just wanted to share that. And I think as well, like, again, I'll share a mistake that I made with you on Sunday after a big gulp of coffee, is that I bought a Sports and Science jelly for the first time, and I saved it to use on the race or on race day. Biggest fucking mistake I could have made, because it was hard. It was too hot to enjoy. It was like a fucking, you know, like, imagine that somebody's heated up one of those jelly pots for you, and whilst it's heated up, it's not stayed jellified, it's gone like a hard gummy sweet. So chewing that whilst running at like race pace was really fucking difficult. And actually, when I look at my end to the race, maybe that was a cause, maybe it was a knock on or a slight on why I finished slower than I did, but I do think the main reason is down to the heat. But actually practicing with your hydration and energy strategies during your training runs is so important. And I know maybe a little bit of a basic bitch thing to say, but you have to practice your methods and your routines before you go out onto the course and try and get what you maybe you are going out for a PB. And actually, when you get your strategies nailed down, you know what splits you're running, you know what strategy of timings you're using. Is it like the 7-3-3 with the half marathon, or are you splitting it into twos for a 10k? All of those kind of things, really important that you nail it down. Don't want to over egg that point, but I just wanted to get it in there. And I think this is another one. I may have touched on this on a running podcast episode before, but not every run is a PB. This is my third point today. I think there's so much, like, and again, I'm more than happy to say that I was guilty of this when I first started running for like fat loss, weight loss, all of those kind of things. But it's so easy to get caught into thinking that you're running for a reaction on Strava or Facebook or Instagram. I do it for accountability now and to follow a plan. And of course, when you go to a race day, it's great to then be like, okay, I like ran a PB today, amazing. But so many people are guilty of going out and running really fucking hard every race, and I promise you that is a sure way to not getting success. The only time you should ever run your hardest is when you go to a race. And again, it's a lesson that I've learned before, maybe going into a race too fatigued, and trying to beat PBs. Like in maybe I've got a 5k PB and I've gone out, I want to do it again. It's almost impossible, right? You have to train in a specific way to get a specific result. Otherwise, you do the same thing, get the same results. And sometimes if you are taking your running more seriously, these kind of thought processes are what you are going to need to take on board, rather than just kind of willy-nilly getting up to near the distance in your training runs, going out and running that PB, because that PB, that normality will become a normality that you can achieve, right? And then it's about pushing yourself, getting into threshold, get up in your heart rate, working in like different splits and doing intervals and all of those kind of things. So again, not a point that needs to be over-egged, but please don't get caught into the trap of thinking like you're running for other people's kudos, because again, if you're running, it's for enjoyment and also for yourself, not for other people. So fuck the PBs when you're training, really doesn't matter. Okay, number 4, get some bloody help. Like, so many people struggle along with, and I don't just mean like with a coach. It'd be really easy to say, oh, I'm here to advertise my services as a coach and to get you conditioned and to share my running or help you with a running program. It's really not that. I just think in all aspects of what it is that you're trying to improve, there is help available to make you stronger, better, feel better, more energized, more hydrated, have a strategy with your energy, all of those kind of things. Getting help. There's so many experts out there that can help you, from sports masseuses, PTs, specifically running coaches, things like the 100% program. What else have we, like, we've got precision hydration that can specifically help you with your hydration and your fueling for races. There's so many people out there, including myself, that will give you a bit of free advice, or like sit on a call with you and talk over a strategy and of where you can maybe gain like 5-10% on your running that actually you don't really think about and you don't really know. So I just wanted to share that. Really do think about getting some help, especially when you've broke through that 10k race part, and like you've done your fun run as such, and now you're like, oh no, do you know what, I really enjoy this, I want to take it a little bit more seriously. Getting help with that thing can of course be helpful, but take you and your enjoyment and your results and your performance to a next level. Okay, number 5, bit of a David Gogginsy thing, but I'll always say this, and I have been in situations where obviously this has come into fruition, and where I've felt the benefits of having this kind of mindset is that your brain will always give up before your body does. And again, part of the 100% coaching for me is it's about building resilience. It's about building kind of a personal like bit of self-respect to not give up and to carry on and to like push yourself to whatever next level that is for you. Obviously for me, there's been 54k ultra, there's been doing the Goggins challenge, there's been the London Marathon, all of these kind of things. And those 3 events specifically, and on Sunday when I cramped up and felt absolutely fucked at the end of Bristol Half Marathon, just to cut a long story short, 10 miles hit, 3.1 mile 5k, which is actually when I should have put my foot down. I just physically couldn't, and could have walked but didn't, because my brain gave up before my body did, right? I could nurse myself home by ticking over and just jogging back. But when it comes to these events, your brain will always give up before your body does. And actually, I've worked with people when it comes to actually building up their speed and building up their endurance, when it comes to running at a higher pace. It's actually not their physical capability that's holding them back when we're looking for those threshold runs, or when we're looking to just push on a 5-second or 10-second gain with pace for a mile or over 2 miles. It's actually them not thinking that they can, or them allowing their brain to slow them down. And it's about breaking through that barrier, like, and doing that one step at a time, literally on the road. Like, okay, I still feel this is hard, but it's not enough to make you stop or slow down, right? And that's the difference. But then on the endurance side of it as well, if you're not sore by the end of a half marathon, marathon or ultra marathon, then you're doing something. Well, actually, no, you should be sat in this chair talking about running. But where I was going with that is, if you're not feeling fatigued, or you're not feeling sore, or you're not feeling tired by the end of those runs, then, like, fair play to you. But also it does mean that you've done something wrong. You've not tried hard enough, right? Especially if you're going for a PB. Enjoyment, great. In fact, just sharing this with you all now, is I have signed up to do another 50k ultra in July. Again, like, a little bit worried about what the heat may do. I'm hoping for a cool day in July, but we'll see what happens. But that's exciting. I'm going to be pushing this mentality and this thought process more. And I think it's really important as well to accept that sometimes over those ultra distances, I'm not saying this is going to happen, I'm not going to bring this into light, but sometimes ultra runners know that, like, one in 5 races they may not be able to finish, right? But your brain will always give up before your body does. And if your body gives up and you are injured, then of course you stop, right? But it's so easy to get caught in that race mode, or even a training mode thought process of, this isn't enjoyable, this is shit, I feel shit, blah, blah, blah. That's your brain giving up before your body does. You can always carry on. And another little tip that I would give to you in that kind of, if you're out on a training run, and say you're scheduled for 6 miles and you're really not enjoying the first 1 or 2 miles, is that you just make a little agreement with yourself to do maybe 75% of the run or 60% of the run. You do the quick maths in your head, you work out what that, like, middle ground is for your chimp brain, which is essentially the part that's saying, fuck this, I don't want to do this today, and the someone that is training for a specific thing, or whether it be weight loss, mood, or a race, and you decide what that is, and you meet in the middle on that ground, and then you've ticked both boxes, right? You've not let your brain win, but you've also listened to your body, listened to yourself, and found that middle ground, which again is a real important part of thinking in 100% way, right? It's not always about beating yourself up and making things unenjoyable, because if you do that, then it's a short and quick way to giving up fully, not just on that one run. So there's your 5 things. Enjoyment first. Please don't beat yourself up if you're not getting PBs at races. Really doesn't matter. That's a lesson from my past self in some ways. Number 2, energy and hydration. Getting help with that, which is obviously point 4, but learning about energy and hydration, not just drinking water, but the effect of electrolytes and what they can have on your run. Really important. Please remember that not every run's a PB. Like, if you're going out for training runs and you're trying to smash your PBs every time, just chill out. Remember, you're not doing this for other people. I would assume that you're doing this for yourself. So actually, the only person that needs to care or worry about this run is you. So stop trying to beat PBs. Stop trying to beat other people's times. You are you. You are running for you. And that is the end of it. Get help. Physios, coaches, PTs, experts on hydration, like precision hydration, experts on nutrition. Just go and get that help to give you that little boost, because if you take yourself more seriously with this venture that you may be on with running, you're going to last a bit longer with enjoyment with it, and also you're going to keep your body in better nick from looking after it and getting that help from other people as well. And people actually say, people say, oh, it's the free, it's like a cheap way to get healthy and a cheap way to get your like hit of exercise and all of those kind of things. Running is not fucking cheap. The trainers are expensive. The kit you need is expensive. The coaches you can invest in is expensive. The events aren't cheap neither. So I just wanted to kill that fucking myth straight away out the water. It's definitely not a cheap one. And then finally, your brain will always give up before your body does. That is 100% message. That is building resilience. That is not listening to your brain when it says no, when it says stop, when it says, oh, I don't want to do this. This is about carrying on unless you're injured. That is the one little caveat. If your body has given up and you are carrying a real fucking shit injury around with you and your brain is saying, oh, I'm hurting, that is a good time to stop. Okay. And maybe if you're crying, if you're crying, but if you're anything like me, and you've trained for ultra marathons and you've ran a London marathon, tears at the end of a race is normal and tears on a really badly planned training run is normal. But that's a story that I've told before and I don't need to do it again. Look, I've buzzed all the way through this. I've been really excited to nail this down. I've given you some kind of venture and kind of backstory about where I've been for the last 4 months, and hopefully brought some content to you running buds or people who are interested in running as well. So please, I hope you have enjoyed that, and please make sure you respond to any of this if it's helped you, or you disagree maybe with me. That's also great. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's happening next for me? Well, the podcast is back. We're getting some guests booked in, and like I said, you're going to be hearing more from me. I'm actually going to be turning more of these episodes into proper YouTube kind of episodes as well. So Scott, my editor, and me, love him. We're going to be doing some work moving forward. I'm making sure that these episodes are done with a new software, so hopefully I look a bit better on camera as well. Not like he's more good looking, but a bit more crisp, and potentially there's some camera upgrade going on as well. Finally, Scott came down for the 100% event as well, which happened, and I've not even touched on. In fact, we'll have to do a separate episode for that another day. And we got some really great footage from not just about me, but about life before 100%. So my parents are featured. So we've got a couple little short documentaries being released as well. Look, it's been amazing to be back. It's been amazing having you here listening to the 188th episode of the 100% podcast. And I'm buzzing to bring these to you even more. And I'm looking forward to sharing more of these episodes with you. So I hope you have a great day. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe below. I can't wait to see you again. Let's go. We're back.